Greetings, America. Welcome to a great episode of the Sweet Lou Special. All right, today, the long and awaited, anticipated, so exciting day. It's Election Day. It's November 3rd, and it has begun. The election of a lifetime, probably the most important election in the history of the world. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spouting shit out. But hey, it is no doubt an important election day. And I want to thank you guys for coming out to watch my show here early in the morning on election day because I wanted to get my last 2 cents out. I wanted to give you guys my predictions, what I think is going to happen for today, after today, and what we're going to be looking forward to, I should say, and the upcoming president of the United States. Probably you guys have an idea of who I voted for and who I have a prediction who's going to win. But maybe it's the hat, the CAG cap, or CAG cape. I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. The election is today. All right. So nearly almost over 90 million people have already done some early voting. Mail-in votes have been a big thing. I know President Trump has brought up multiple times about possible voter fraud. And, this is the first time in American history where we're seeing in mass of mail-in votes for the general election. Does it have a chance, or is there an opportunity for there to be some voter fraud? Am I completely worried about it? I'm not. But what has been said in the debates by President Trump is that he wants to have a free and fair election. And the left has been twisting it around a lot about him not wanting to step down if he loses. Look, if he loses, he's not going to sit in there like a goddamn dictator. All right? Stop making shit up of like, he's not going to step down. He's not going to accept the election results. Look, both parties are going to accept the election results. Both sides, well, I've heard on sides, especially Nancy Pelosi, have been making comments that, counting votes is going to happen continuing after Election Day. Am I worried about that after Election Day voting in from Pennsylvania or from other states? I'm not at all. I think we're getting worked up and worried over something that's not going to happen. That's not going to be a big deal. The election is going to be free and fair mostly. Is there going to be some fraud cases? I'm sure there's going to pop up after Election Day of how some ballots were harvested or some ballots weren't counted. But is it going to be such in a large scale where it's going to turn the election one way or another? I don't think so personally. I think it's just going to be just like every other American election where we have, just like last time, we're going to be having some trolls on the internet that's going to be trying to churn some shit into the American public. Is there foreign interference that's going on social media? Yeah. Our enemies are watching us right now. Our enemies are watching the American people just fucking burn down our cities, riot over this and that. I can only imagine what is going to happen after today in the next couple days of what's going to happen in the streets of major cities. Is there going to be widespread rioting? If either party wins, I think there's going to be, especially if Donald Trump wins, just like last time, where people were protesting and running a fit outside of Trump Tower in Chicago. I believe that it's going to be worse than that. Now, obviously, as I said in many episodes before, that I do have my prediction that Trump is going to win the election. I think, and I'm going to say this now, getting in ahead of people, of everyone, because I think I'm the only one out there that's saying this, but I have a weird, strong feeling that Donald Trump is going to win the popular vote and going to win the electoral vote this time. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But as we know, last time, 2016, Donald Trump lost the popular vote by a couple million. I think it was 2 million. We had seen a little less than 130 million people voted in the general election last 4 years ago, last time. Okay. And this comes to another prediction of mine that I made a while back, a year or so ago, that I have a feeling too that we're going to see the most votes, most votes in an American election ever, in any election ever in the history of the United States. We're going to see the most votes, and they're already casting over 90 million votes before election day. Okay, I have a prediction that's going to be north of 140 million votes are going to be casted, and I think we're going to see a large turnout. These past 4 years, we have seen so much involvement of all different kinds of people, left, right, myself included. I wasn't into politics that much. I wasn't into policy. Not until President Trump came into office. And I got really involved in this because I thought that the way that the media was treating him and that the way the other party was treating him wasn't giving him a fair chance of getting shit done for the American people. And that's all I feel like the Democrats have done in Congress for the past 2 years, has been just delaying, the processes of government by, one, the Russia hoax. We knew that was fake. Everyone was just talking shit about it, that, Donald Trump's calling it a hoax. It's not a hoax. They got the Steele dossier. All this has been false. Russia collusion, false. Quid pro quo, false. Impeachment, failure. All this. These were all just monkey wrenches thrown into the system. Again, delaying our government process all this time. All this 2 years, a year and a half at least, wasted of when we could get serious policy done, including the stimulus bill that they were supposed to sign, that Donald Trump wanted just money for the American people. He didn't want the extra bullshit that the Democrats are trying to pull in. Both sides are saying that the fucking Democrats are the ones delaying it, that the Republicans are the ones delaying it. No one has gotten the fucking relief that they need. And someone needs to pull their head out of their ass and come together and get this shit done. But the problem is, and you see this, especially with Dianne Feinstein during the hearings for Amy Coney Barrett, when she gave Senator Graham a hug, man, her party started casting her out like the leopard, like I mentioned before. Because on the Democrat side, and especially in Congress, if you go anywhere in the middle or anywhere to the right to try to meet someone else in the middle of the other side of the aisle and try to get something done, to mediate, to come up with a good policy, a good plan for that both sides can agree on, to get something done for the American people. That it seems, in my opinion, that the Democrats are the side that's so strong and so stubborn that they refuse to do that. They're willing to cast out their own party members if they show any likeness or any softness towards the Republican Party. It's unfortunate, and it's and so that's what I think, that we need to get shit done. But the Democrats, it seems that they just want to do this one thing after another. It's Donald Trump doing this and Donald Trump doing that. And you can't have Nancy Pelosi every day can't keep Donald Trump's name out of her mouth. It's like the woman is in love with him. She has some kind of strong desire. It's either the hate and love is just so close to each other that, man, she just has a fucking hard on for Donald Trump. Can't stop thinking about him. Can't stop talking about him. Oh, you're a Republican apologist, Mr. Wolf. Anyway, think about it. Is she in love with the man? It seems like it. It's like that, playing in the playground and bullying on the little girl bullying on the boy, tripping him and calling him names and calling him fat. But in reality, she has a big crush on him. I don't know, something to think about. But So the polls. I'm sure everyone, or most at least, know and hear about the polls. Okay, the biggest thing, and I'll get this out of the way right now. Start it off this way, is that everyone on the right and everyone voting Republican, they're like, last time they had Hillary up on every poll. Hillary had a 98% chance of winning the election. Hillary bought all the fireworks, spent thousands of dollars on her on the fireworks for her celebration victory. Didn't happen, obviously. One thing is that I just want to show this one. It's by let's go back down on memory lane, okay, to one of my oh so favorite news outlets, the Huffington Post, one of the most biased fucking um, one of the most biased fucking news outlets that I've ever seen in my entire life. Even worse, I think, sometimes than CNN and other and Vox. And every time people try to send off to me any kind of reference or Huffington Post, I basically immediately dismiss it because I know I'm not going to get anything factual, in my opinion, from the Huff Post. But let's take a walk down memory lane, okay? This is kind of spreading on the internet, and it's pretty funny. But let's remember, our pollsters model gives at Hillary Clinton a 98.1% chance of winning the presidency elections. Huffington Post. All right. Let's not forget, folks. Let's not forget on how that worked out for the Huffington Post. How did that work out for Hillary Clinton? See? That's what everyone's going off of, right? Because the polls were so one-sided. I don't even know how the hell the polls fucking work, man. I mean, I get the gist of it, the basic of it, but like I've never met anyone that has gotten a phone call from to give a poll. Are they back in the day? I thought they used to stand outside of the polling of the election booths and take people and ask people, oh, who did you vote for, and then write it down. And then of course there's a deviation when it comes to these numbers, okay? Because you have to put in the human factor. People lie. That's the biggest thing, right? They don't want to admit. They don't want to tell you. For one thing, it seems like the American people, and it seems like it's just our culture, that we don't feel like it's appropriate to share who we voted for, or even almost feel like it's an insult if asked, who did you vote for? Me, on the other hand, I don't give a shit. I'm letting everyone know I voted for Donald Trump, the president, number 45, baby. All right? And I don't give a shit who knows it. Okay? I'm posting it on Facebook. Obviously, if you've been on my page, you've seen that I filled out my ballot, took a picture of it, and shared it with everyone. That's because that's me, and I don't feel like it's an insult to be asked. I don't feel like it's a complete secret, like I'm sharing my personal belief, my personal thoughts and my diary, or I'm sharing some of what my income that I make. No, I don't care, because there's a lot of places in the world, especially where my wife comes from, that it's not disrespectful to ask who you voted for, and nor is it really all super secretive to just share honestly on who you voted for, okay? Because in a lot of places in the world where they say, oh, I voted for this person, it might be different from your other family member, but no one's going to go buck crazy like some fucking Antifa or Proud Boys kind of shit, take their shirt off and burn down the whole fucking city and call you an idiot in front of, at Thanksgiving, and, or a fucking fascist or some shit like that, like we see it today, which is all turned by the fear-mongering left, in my opinion, and a lot by the media. But I digress. A lot of people in other places, it's not so inappropriate to ask. But what do you guys think? Is it going to be the same thing this year? It's going like it was, 4 years ago, last general election? I do. I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a time too to show some tweets that are going out there, some of the polls. But first, let's get with some of the polls from. I kind of Google this. We'll go by state. I'm not going to go through every state because we all know which states Donald Trump is going to win. But the biggest one is going to be the battleground states. Pennsylvania is obviously a big one to doing rally. Donald Trump is doing last minute rallies in Pennsylvania because that's a toss up. But we can go over some of the numbers for some of the states, and which I think is, and I'll give my opinion of like what I think is bullshit on. Okay, obviously we're going to have Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas. That's going to be in Trump's favor. Again, this is by SurveyMonkey, and it's on Projects 35. What was that? 538.com. So it's projects.538.com, and they listed SurveyMonkey. I'll give you guys just a little glimpse of what it looks like. So here is, you got Alaska or Alabama, Arkansas, obviously going to be in Trump's favor. Big numbers for Alabama and Arkansas. And here's the first one that I think is going to be kind of strange in my opinion, is going to be Arizona. Now, Arizona has been historically red. Obviously, you've had senators that have been Republican. Oh gosh, what's his name that just passed away from brain cancer not too long ago. Sorry for the brain dump. But anyway, it's Arizona is kind of a surprise for me on where they have Biden up by 5%. Now, is that within the deviation, margin of error? I think so. But however, I don't foresee Arizona going blue. I just don't. I think that it's going to be red. I could take a look at what the 2016 election results, election map. Okay, Arizona was red. Okay, in 2016. Do I think that Arizona is going to be red this time? I do. So that's the big controversy one. Now they have SurveyMonkey rated as a D minus here. So probably their survey, their polls is not the best. But in my opinion, I think this reflects almost every other damn poll that you see. So it to me, doesn't make a big deal. But at least the great thing is that they give the sample size here of who they poll. So in Arizona, they polled 3,800 people as a sample size. They got Biden up by 5%. Like I said, I don't think that's going to be true. I think Arizona is going to sweep that as red. I'm kind of optimistic too about the West Coast states, like my state, Washington. I think Oregon's going to be blue. California is definitely going to go blue, even though every fucking year and something's going terribly wrong, like more prisoners getting out early, felonies getting downgraded into misdemeanors, and the homeless rates just going skyrocketing. But yes, California will continue to vote blue. And for those of you that don't know, so states have the right, under the 10th Amendment to make any laws that they want to, as long as it doesn't really violate the Constitution of the United States of America. Obviously, states can write their own constitution. Every state does have its own constitution. But they can also write their own, how they're going to count their electoral votes. So I believe most states have it as, come one, come all. So as, popular vote. And I don't know how exactly every other state works, but anyway, go down. Another surprise of mine is Colorado. I guess Colorado is going to be more blue. It was blue last time. They went 9, all votes for Hillary. But that was going to be an interesting one. I think that's going to be a toss-up, but they currently got Colorado up at 12 points in favor of Joe Biden. Connecticut, yeah. Washington, D.C., no matter what you say, this one, you can't be in error on this one, but they got Biden up 89 points, 94 to 5% in favor of Joe Biden, and their sample size was 457. Go down some more. Florida, I've seen some other polls that say that Florida is going, is a toss-up too. No, I don't think it's going to be any fucking question about Florida if Florida is going to push up their votes as red. Okay, because no, it was last time. It's going to be this time. Historically, red state, large number, 29 electoral votes. So that's why if anyone really wins Florida, Florida's a big one. California and New York always just go blue for the past, almost 30 years. All right, so any other surprises? Of course, Hawaii is going to be it. Okay, so Iowa, okay, middle ground state. So got Trump up by 1 point. That's going to be red. I don't think there's going to be much say about that, even though they say that it's a toss-up between that one. Illinois, Biden up 18 points. Do I think Illinois is going to be the blue one? Yeah, probably. Historically, so they've been blue. I don't think anyone's going to be doubting that one. We could talk bad first. Of course, Maryland, where you have Baltimore, which is just a fucking in shambles city. They're going to continue to vote blue. Pauline runs the entire state of that one city, but they're up 33 points for Biden. Massachusetts up by 40 points. But on this survey, on this polls, they got basically in favor of Biden, like everyone else is going to be saying. You're going to be hearing that. In my personal opinion, I think it's just a tactic. I don't agree with their polling methods. I don't even know what their polling methods are. Maybe someone out there can send me a link and some kind of information that I can read up on to educate myself and help educate others about how these polls. Because are we going to have 2 elections in a row, presidential elections, where we're going to be doubting the polls? Because if the polls are completely wrong this time, and it's going to be, and the outcome is going to be highly in favor of Donald Trump. And if my prediction is correct on the popular and the electoral vote, then there's need to be some kind of consideration of how these polls work, some diving into it, some figuring out how did they screwed up again. I mean, these are all questions that we're going to have to ask if it comes out, the way that I predict it comes out to. Okay, Nevada, they have it as dead even here. I think Nevada's going to go red. It was blue last time, so that might be an interesting state that will flip red. Are we going to see some states that are going to flip from blue to red? It's a possibility. I think if anyone could do it, I think the 2 states would be New Mexico and Nevada. That would be my guess. I'm probably going to be fucking wrong because, again, I don't live for the polls. I listen to it. And you got people like Ben Shapiro that go out there that's like, I got to go by the data. The data says this. I know people on the right don't like to hear about the data because it was bullshit last time. Yes, that's why I don't like to hear it, because it's just not too optimistic. But I get his point, right? You're looking at the numbers, and this is the best information that you can get. I mean, I've heard some other possible stories of the group that predicted Trump's win last time is predicting another win today or this time. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm being very optimistic about it. I'm going off the trend of 2016. Like I said, I think that's what's going to happen again. New York, obviously, I'm not even going to count. New York's going to blue. All right. Ohio, they got Trump up by 3 points. Ohio's going red. Ohio went red last time. Ohio has a Republican governor. Going to go red. They predict Wisconsin is going to go blue. It's going to flip from blue from last time. Last time they voted for Trump. It was in favor of Trump. They were red. But now they got Wisconsin, which is they got Biden up 10 points on that one. I think that one's bullshit too. Okay, they got a survey size of 2,400, just a tad under 25, and I think that's just false. I think the Kenosha bit really kind of was leaning in favor of Donald Trump, which is a good question. The sample size. I mean, are they making sure that these participants are over 18, that they're actual registered voters? You know, again, if it comes out that the polls were just completely fucking wrong yet again, 2 elections in a row, we need to have some serious looking into. Serious looking into. I'm kind of optimistic about Washington. But I don't, overall, I don't think we're going to be red. It would be quite an amazing feat. I did vote for the Republican candidate for governor in our state, Lauren Culp. But I see some polls that really lean towards Jay Inslee. Not a big fan of Jay Inslee. The man has just funneled and lost so much money from the taxpayers of the state of Washington. Luckily, we don't have an income tax here. Not like California that has a 16% or some shit like that for the income tax there. But they're already talking about taxing us more. We already have a 10% sales tax here in my county. 30% liquor tax, basically. Some of the taxes are a little bit high, the property tax, but at least we don't have the income tax. But they're trying to get that shit here too. But I have big hopes. If we don't get at least get into the general election for Trump, I'm hoping to at least flip the governor to Lauren Culp. In my area, I see a lot of Trump. I mean, maybe you can attest for this and where you live, rural city, small town, whatever, suburbia. But in my area, I see a lot of people with their Trump flags, American flags on the back of the trucks, going up and down the streets. Everyone is just, when I see Trump supporters here in my area, it's more vibrant. I don't see anyone holding out Biden-Harris signs. I don't see anyone cheering or having the Biden flag in the back of their car, SUV, truck, or whatever. No, I don't see that. I see big ass Trump signs almost everywhere that I go. I see the yard Trump signs everywhere that I go. I see people with their Trump flags, American flags, driving on their trucks. I so far in the past week, I have seen at least 3 people on the street corners, just by themselves, waving American flag in one hand, Trump flag in the other. And maybe you guys can comment in the comments of the video, to show, share some pictures of your local area of, people supporting Trump. But I see the enthusiasm of Trump supporters. I don't see any enthusiasm from Biden supporters. I think that we're going to be looking at a lot of different variables on who is saying that they're voting for Biden. I just don't see it. I still see more Bernie Sanders bumper stickers than Biden bumper stickers. I still see sometimes Bernie's 2016 shit on the back of people's cars. I don't see a single fucking Biden. I don't. Biden-Harris, I don't see it. Again, I mean, even I've listened to the Rush Limbaugh show for briefly, and they have a big thing on there oh, hey, do you guys see a lot of Biden shit? I sure don't, and I'm in a blue state, so maybe it's a chance. But am I going to be surprised if my state goes blue? No, I'm going to be surprised, but I'm going to be kind of bummed that my vote kind of went to waste. But it's not. I shouldn't say that because it didn't go to waste because I'm doing my civic duty. But when you have a 3,600 sample size here in Washington, Vermont obviously going to go blue. Yeah. Virginia, surprisingly enough, I believe they just their legislature just went blue 2 years ago. So would they be blue? Yeah. I mean, is there much of a chance that they'll go red? I don't know. That might be a teeter. Last time Virginia went blue. But they say, North Carolina, South Carolina are big states that are swing. South Carolina is going to be polled here in favor of Trump by 12%. What do we say? North Carolina, let's take a look at North Carolina. It has Biden up 4%. I think that one's going to be bullshit too. I think that's going to be a red state. New Jersey is going to be blue. New Mexico. Now, you see, like I said, I predicted New Mexico might go red. But when you got Biden up 14 points in that state, it kind of amazes me on how that state is blue. But I mean, I think that has a better chance than my state. If anything, I still think we're going to sweep red. I think it's just going to be just amazing on how this election is going to be. The election is going to be crazy. Everyone's just anticipated it. It has big anticipation for this. Everyone is just worked up. Everyone is just excited. A lot of people are. I mean, but but I know this. What's going to be one of the best things at the end of the election day is all the memes that's going to be coming out. I'm sure I'm going to be making some. It's going to be funny to see some people tearing up. Again, I'm going off the bet. If I put everything down on it, Trump winning. But we'll see. Because everyone else is going to be saying, Biden's got it. Biden has a 90-something% chance. So that's going to be going up to my next point here. All right. I'm going to be going over some of these tweets that he's seeing because we all know that Twitter is a cesspool of extreme left-wing bullshit and shit talking and censorship. So let's see. Let's go. Let's get to it. All right. Top. Oh, this is from August 2nd, political polls. Okay. They estimated Biden at 91% chance of winning, Trump 8%. Well, let's just take a look at political polls. Today, 39 minutes. Wisconsin, overall. Iowa, Mississippi. Oh, gosh, where the hell was it? 99 million votes, they say, 2 hours ago. Are we going to hit 100 million before... yeah, wow. Okay, hold on. Where is it? Because we'll get it here. Okay, here it is. November 1st. Yes, November 1st. All right, chance of winning the Electoral College. Biden, 96%. All right, I just want to share all this with you because if it happens to turn the other way, I want to be the one that shares this with you of what everyone is saying on Twitter. All right, chance of winning Electoral College, Biden 96%, Trump 4. Chance of winning the most votes, greater than 99%, less than 1%. Greater than 99% Biden, and less than 1% Trump. Estimated Electoral College votes, Biden 350, Trump 188. Okay? That's political polls here on the latest at The Economist forecast. Now let's go with all the tweets. Starting here from the top here, because it's replying to The Economist in before the 2016 people. Oh, look at this, Catherine. One day, Biden-Harris 2020 seems so excited by the polls. Oh, man, please record your reaction when he loses. Ryan Mahoney. Apparently, he was a former GOP consultant or some kind of serious. Here's his picture he took of his ballot. Joseph R. Biden's who he's voting for. Obviously, not a Republican anymore. Well, here's a good information here. 239,822 African American voters over the age of 65 have already voted in Georgia. That's 124% of the total 2016 turnout for African American seniors, which is probably a vote for Trump. Ironically enough, I believe that's what it is. Nate Silver, you're going to see him. Popular vote, yeah, 53% for whatever. Yeah, see, Ryan was an RNC communications director under Ronna Romney. It was Ronna something. I don't think it was Romney. Proud of him for speaking out. 24 hours left, Republicans. It's not too late to do the right thing like Ryan. No! Final morning consult state polls. Arizona. Again, I don't think Arizona's going to be blue. See, look, they got Florida. Biden up 6 points. And Florida. Georgia. Biden up 2 points. No! I don't believe that. Don't believe that one damn bit. Sorry. Yeah, don't care. It is also Nate Silver again. Is also a bit self-serving in that if you have a poll with Trump +1 in Pennsylvania, when the consensus has it Biden +5, voter fraud is a way to excuse why your poll was wrong if Biden wins. That's a big fucking if. New from Biden campaign manager Jen O'Malley Dillon. Under no scenario will Donald Trump be declared a victor on election night. Bullshit. We'll see. So yeah, final state legislator rating change. Texas House moves to toss up. No, Texas going red. Sorry. Now this is an interesting video. Let's see if we can.
I'm a lifelong Republican, voting for Joe Biden for president. I don't agree with him on a lot of issues, but I believe it's time to find what unites us, not what divides us. It's time to rebuild the heart of what makes us a great country. That starts with electing leaders of character who are truthful and who will put the country's welfare ahead of all else, and who will show respect for all people, regardless of their gender, their race, their religion, or their political beliefs. My vote today is meant to send a message to my fellow Republicans that our party can find its way back. It's time to return to the values a conservative party has held historically dear. Limited government, balanced budgets, support for working families, respect for personal rights, and historically being at the forefront of racial justice, dating back to when we were the party of Lincoln. Paradoxically, a Joe Biden presidency will allow us to refocus on core Republican values, and we can become the conservative party that can lead America to prosperity and greatness again.
What the fuck is he talking about? Conservative values that Joe Biden is going to provide? Smaller government? None of that he talked about made any damn sense. What the fuck is going on? Where was this? New Hampshire? Dixville vote. Lifelong Republican Les Otten to cast first vote at midnight in Dixville. Notch for Democrat Joe Biden election day, election 2020, New Hampshire politics. That clip literally made no fucking sense. Conservative values, smaller government. That if by putting Joe Biden in there, it's going to be a good thing for Republicans. No, what in the fuck? Lose my damn mind on this one. That literally made zero sense. First of all, Joe Biden would tax the hell out of everyone. Okay, that's already been established. We know that. And he's going to raise taxes. Oh no, but he's going to raise taxes for anyone that makes over $400,000. Bullshit. That's going to trickle down too. Taxes for the higher up is going to trickle right down from our taxes being paid by this little man, because they're going to have wages cut. None of it, like I said, small government from Joe Biden. Joe Biden wants to have a national mandate for mask wearing. That's small government. What values does Biden have? What, like Christian core values, religious values of either of any kind of religion? No. Open borders? What, dude, what a mess. But hey, it's his opinion. He has the right to it. But again, let's see. Huffington Post said 98.1%. Political poll says 90-something percent. That there's going to be no way. They said here. What is it? I'll just say that Jen O'Malley Dillon. Under no scenario will Donald Trump be declared a victor on election night. Well, we are going to see, Jen. We are going to find out. I don't know about you guys, but personally for me, I'm going to make election day today a party at the house, at the Sweet Lou Casa de la Sweet Lou. I'm going to be following it. I'm going to be watching all the different news outlets. Maybe I'll watch CNN. Maybe I'll watch that because I want to see them get pissed off again when they say, "How the hell? What? Nevada came in voting for Trump? What? This doesn't make any sense." just want to see it explode so I can take videos of it and mock it, make fun of it. Or maybe I might just be putting my foot in my mouth. Maybe I'm going to be the asshole. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong. But maybe, hopefully, I'm not. Because if I'm wrong, I hope everyone is going to put it in my face that my predictions were just completely out of left field. But if I'm right, and if I'm right, it's not going to be the last that you hear from me. You're going to hear from me quite often. Last thing, wanted to go over. Where did it go? Okay, yeah, the election map here. Oh no. Here, I got it. Okay, I wanted to read this one tweet that came out by Tim Murtaugh, okay? And he says, Biden's early vote lead is not enough, and they know it. Dems plan to call Donald Trump's Election Day surge a red mirage to delegitimize his wave of support. They'll try to create a smokescreen post-Election Day, even running TV ads to cast doubt on November 3rd vote. Be ready. Now, this was a letter allegedly from the Trump campaign. I'll put it up on the screen and read it out for you guys. So, hey, just like in school, just put it up on the screen and read along with me. All right, Trump campaign statement on Democrat plans to delegitimize Election Day results. I mean, they put the header. Now, again, I'm saying this is allegedly from the Trump campaign. That's what it says on here. I mean, this may be fake, this may be not, but this is what I got from the tweet that I just read to you guys. November 2nd, 2020. Democrats are panicking because Joe Biden has not run up a large enough lead in early votes in battleground states, and they know that President Trump's in-person votes on Election Day will make up the difference and propel him to victory. Biden's political operatives have already been distributing talking points and research to delegitimize Election Day results by coaching surrogates to refer to the president's Election Day success as a red mirage. The operatives are advising surrogates and media to create a smokescreen by casting blame all around, imagining postal delays, or falsely claiming that mail-in ballots that have simply not been returned should be considered legitimate votes that need to be counted. None of this will be true, but it will be held up as proof that President Trump's victory is a so-called red mirage. No one should fall for it. We are aware that Democrats have already cut television ads. They are prepared to deploy further cement the red mirage misinformation, seeking to convince people that all Joe Biden would need for victory is more time, extending well beyond Election Day. At the same time, we fully anticipate that Democrats will be in court arguing to extend deadlines for accepting and counting votes mailed and received well past deadlines enacted by individual state laws. Americans should remember that Biden has assembled a massive team of lawyers who will try to loosen election integrity so they can steal this election, and also recall that Hillary Clinton advised Biden not to concede defeat under any circumstances. The last gasp of the Biden campaign will be ugly, and it will be ruthless. What actually has happened is that Democrats fielded a candidate in Joe Biden who excites virtually no one, true, and his potential voters are not motivated to go to the polls in person, true. Democrats also made the mistake of spending months frightening their supporters away from voting in person because of the coronavirus, and now they've realized that their early vote lead will not be enough. True. Biden's campaign also committed the political sin of failing to build a ground game or field operation, and now they are paying the price with their inability to turn out supporters. Biden knows that the votes he already has in the bank through early voting are from supporters that they already had. So he has cannibalized his own Election Day turnout. Because of this Biden predicament, We are on guard for Democrats to attempt to subvert state deadlines for receiving and counting ballots, and we will fight to make sure they adhere to the law. President Trump wants every eligible voter to be able to vote once, and have it counted. Justin Clark, Trump 2020 Deputy Campaign Manager. Wow. All right. What does all that mean? This is what it means. It means that they're already going to be saying that, like, these early votings that came in and people have already turned in their ballots, they haven't reached the auditor or ever counts it through the state, their individual state, that hasn't come through the mail in time. So this is what they've been trying to fight for in states like Pennsylvania, where they're going to be able to count votes up to X amount of days after November 3rd. Look, this entire debacle of still counting votes, you even had, I can pull up the quote, Pelosi on still counting votes. Let's see what she has to say. Pelosi on Trump's election wins. We're ready for it all. All right. We have been prepared for the worst. Okay, this is what she's saying. Now, Speaker was clear that she would pursue action should Trump declare victory on election night, while millions of people's votes remain uncounted, calling it unconstitutional. All right. We have been prepared. This is a quote from Pelosi. We have been prepared for the worst for a long time because what we have seen is the worst on the part of this president in terms of his disrespect for the Constitution, his disregard of free will of the people, and his stooping to any level for his own re-election. We knew that it was in their playbook to scare people off from voting. False. So again, when they made it known, they made it easier for us to counter. What does she say? I'm trying to find the exact quote because I don't want to take anything out of context. Unequal November 3rd. Oh, God, it was 2016. What the fuck? Nancy Pelosi says Trump should accept election results like a man. Well, no shit. She says on 20 January 2021, Joe Biden will be inaugurated president of the United States. The states will count the votes that they have in a timely fashion. Stir the pot. Come on, I'm trying to find the quote. Proper winner declared November 3rd for 2 weeks, which is totally... Okay, so it would be very, very proper and very nice if a winner were declared on 3 November instead of counting ballots for 2 weeks, which is totally inappropriate, and I don't believe that that's by our laws. Donald Trump has said on last Tuesday. Man, I apologize. I should have gotten prepared for this one. Could we force on counting votes after election day? Come on, I know I heard her say it.